Well, hello there, and congratulations. You just graduated from college. I'm so proud of you. Kudos to you. Now, I'm sure you are looking at apartments because it is time to start adulting and make the big leap. But hold on. Is homeownership an option for you? Should you buy a house instead of renting an apartment? Well, here's what nobody is talking about. You could potentially buy a house with the offer letter that you have for that job. With a salaried position, you can buy a house with your offer letter, and maybe you're not even supposed to start work for 60 days. You could potentially already close before you even start that job. Is this not unbelievable? Nobody is talking about this. So my son had moved back home from Columbus, and he was about to buy a house. And he hadn't been on the job for very long. And he hadn't been on the job for very long. And in my parental mind, I was thinking, you're not going to qualify to buy a house. Well, guess what? He qualifies. So I was like, okay. But I was so thankful that I didn't say, you're not going to be able to qualify because you haven't been on the job for 2 years. I didn't say that. I just let him go ahead and apply, and he got approved. And I'll be honest, I was shocked. But fast forward, now I understand why. It's because it was a salaried position. So this is the cheat code that nobody is talking about. When you have a salaried position, that's more of a guarantee than an hourly wage. Because if you're working hourly, maybe you get 40 hours this week, maybe you get 35 hours. That's why they need to verify your paycheck stubs. But when you have a salary position, you don't have to jump through all of those hoops. So, should you consider buying a house? I think, well, it depends. What does it depend on? Well, it depends on how long you plan on living in the area, because I know you probably are ready to move across town or whatever your plans might be, but consider buying a house. Here's what we know. The average age of the first-time home buyer is 40 years old. 40 years old. I don't know why people are waiting that long to buy a house. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they have debt. I don't know why, but that's the average. So imagine if you decided to buy a house at age 24, fresh out of college, before you acquire a lot of debt. And by the time you're 40, you've been paying on your house for 16 years. You have almost paid it off. And there's strategies that if you make an extra payment towards the principal every single year, you could potentially pay it off in 18 years. So imagine almost having your house paid off, and then some of your friends are just now buying a house. So really consider clicking on the link, and let's have a conversation to see if homeownership is right for you. Secondly, if you're like, you want to invest in real estate anyway, what if you do this strategy that people are calling house hacking? That's where you can buy a duplex. That's where it's two different units. You live in one unit and then you rent out the other unit. The cheat code is not telling the other person that you are the owner. Don't do that. And you rent out the other side. So basically, the person who's in unit number two, they're pretty much paying for the mortgage or really close to it. So that's called house hacking. Or you can buy a 4-bedroom house. You live in one of the bedrooms and rent out the other three. Like, there are so many. You could buy a quad where it's 4 units and you live in one unit and rent out the other 3 units. There's so many options, and this is what nobody is talking about. But that's okay, because you came across this link and you are like, maybe I could own property like right away instead of renting. Because this is what happens when you're renting. You're paying off somebody else's mortgage. You are building somebody else their wealth for their family. What if you bought a house now? A starter house, it doesn't have to be a big old house. Small houses are appreciating. They're worth more in value year after year after year, just like big houses are. And here's the other thing. You're no shade on your parents, right? But you know that they want you to proceed with caution. So let's say, and I totally lost my train of thought, but anyway, so let's say you decide to go ahead and buy a house now, right? And you're like, oh, what about the maintenance? Well, there's YouTube. No, there is, you can build relationships with the people that you're going to need. And your real estate agent can connect you with a lot of the resources for contractors that will come up. You can buy a home warranty. Like there's so many things and so many options for you. And I just want you to know what your options are besides renting. And the other thing is that it increases your net worth, like right off the bat. When you buy an asset, now you're worth 200, you're worth $250,000 just because you own property. Why wait? Because you can start paying off your house right away. And oh, I know what I was going to say. I know what I was going to say. So right now you might be thinking the housing market, everything is expensive right now. Well, here's the thing. 20 years ago, we thought everything was expensive. The majority of us that are investors wish we could have bought everything then. Now it seems like everything is expensive. 20 years from now, you're going to thank me that you came across this video and you bought a house because 20-year prices are going to be even higher than what they are now. So consider buying now so that you can be halfway paid off your house and own your house by the time your peers are getting started. This is something that you can consider buying a house now. So, how can you buy a house with just a job offer letter? Click on the link. Let's book some time together to see if home ownership is the right decision for you. Let's go. This is what nobody is talking about, but I'm here for you so that you can get the information to make an informed decision that is going to start building your wealth right away. Let's go.